How's it going? I'm gonna say right now, this video is not for the youngest and middle siblings. This is for the long lost eldest children. So if you are not of that nature or form or species, please remove yourself, because you might get your feelings hurt, and I don't want to hear them from mom. All right. So with that being said, we're gonna cover a couple topics, all elder children, that we can all relate to on an unfortunate mass scale. So if you formally kicked your younger siblings out of the room, yes again, youngest and middle children, let's begin. So first off, I'm gonna say to the eldest children, these things I'm gonna talk about, they're gonna be forever, which some of you have probably already gotten to the point of understanding. Some of you haven't yet, but these things, they're gonna be forever when it comes to parent-children relationships, especially when there's multiple children. It's always gonna be there, but it'll get easier because you'll grow up and not care anymore. It's just the unfortunate way that it goes. It's human nature. Now, starting off, I want to talk about third parenting, because I feel like this is the catalyst to everything. Actually, I guess second parenting, first parenting, whatever. Third parenting for the most part. But I feel like this is the thing that sets everything in motion for eldest children. We all have had the times where parents go out, parents do whatever, whether it's just mom, just dad, or both, and we are left to watch youngest sibling or siblings, which there's nothing wrong with that. That is a normal sibling thing to do. But raising your siblings is not your responsibility, because you didn't have them. That's not your responsibility. So, I noticed, at least in my family, my dad is Liberian, African. My mom is, they're black, but my mom's side is very southern, so they're kind of traditional. So they hold that standard of girls, women, take care of the house, do that type of stuff, boring stuff, 1950s stuff. Which there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to live that type of life or you like that, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't, so that's where the problem comes in. But yeah, they're like that, very conservative, traditional type of stuff, So I am the oldest of 6 other kids. 4 from my mom's side, from my mom, 3 from my dad. So, well, 7 actually, but 6 biological siblings, 1 step sibling. Yeah, I have so many I lose count. So yeah, I am the oldest of 7 kids basically, which it doesn't bother me too much because I kind of have an age gap with them. So I'm 20 and the youngest is like 8 months. Yeah, that's on my dad, but not my mom. I know I'm not getting any more from her. Yeah, so I've always been the top head of everything. I've always been the first for everything, first grandkid, first niece, first cousin, first whatever. So I get a lot of stuff thrown at me, standards wise, expectations wise, because I'm the first to do everything. First to get my car, first to go to school, first to go to prom, first to do everything. So I was always put in the place to set the standard. And who sets the standard amongst humans? The adults. They set the standards for the children. And in my case, I was the oldest, so I am the standard for my siblings, which is where third parenting comes in. I always used to get frustrated because I would have to discipline and do all this stuff, but then it's like, but then I can't do it how I need to because my parents hold my siblings to a different standard and they don't discipline them to the extent of how they discipline me. So when I automatically am assigned to discipline, I am freaking shut down because they're all soft now and all baby in them, and I'm like, what the heck? I didn't get none of that.
Calm down, diddly 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 diddly. They did their best, shoddly iddly iddly diddly. Gotta be nice, hostility diddly biddly diddly. Ah, hell, diddly ding dong crap!
I didn't get none of that. Not even tiny bit. Not even tiny. I was the first kid. I got, everything because I was the only kid till my sister was born, and then it was like whatever. And I for the most part that's best for them because I don't think my siblings would have survived had they grown up the way I grew up at all, in terms of discipline and the stuff I was allowed to do and not allowed to do. And it's just a frustrating cycle, especially since I have 7 other siblings. My brother, who's right under me, we're only 11 months apart in age. So we're Irish twins. My mom had us back to back. And just the when we would have to stay home together, and I'm the rule maker, I'm the keep the house together, I'm the parent basically, third parent, second parent, whatever. But it's like, how, first of all, why am I parenting when I'm also a kid? Number one. Number two, how am I supposed to parent when I don't know how to do this? I don't know what my actual parent wants. I don't know. And then I try stuff, and then I'm the bad guy because I'm supposed to be the oldest, and technically I'm not actually the parent. When your mom is like, that's my child, don't do this, that's my child, don't do that, or your dad's like, this is my child, don't do this, don't do that, and it's like, but you just gave me the parenting card to do this, so what do you want? You just want me to stand there and watch them die? Because I can do that. Or you want me to parent, as you say, discipline them, watch them, whatever. Like, it was a whirlwind of confusion, a whirlwind. And I know I'm not the only eldest child to deal with this. Like, it gets frustrating. But that's just the beginning, the pinnacle of what creates the eldest child syndrome. This next part probably is the internalization part that creates eldest children, emotions into their adulthood. This is what makes and breaks us. The standard part, the expectations, I have to be the best standard. I have to do everything right standard, or else everything's my fault. Like, I remember my younger sisters, they I guess started acting out a little bit, transitioning into 5th grade and going into high school, and I was blamed for it because their attitude started changing and they were growing up, and my parent and step-parent didn't know how to deal with it because they had never dealt with it before, until I had just happened to come at the same time that they were transitioning into these pubescent stages. But it's my fault.
What was the reason? I had a reason. What was the reason? What was the reason?
And it's still carrying on. And now it's carrying on through my cousins and everybody else. And they starting to see, I haven't gotten an apology, but I know that they know that it wasn't me. Because I'm like, everybody goes through this. Just because y'all didn't deal with it with me because I wasn't there, don't mean just because I came out is my fault. And if they're following me when I'm 20 years old, that's not my fault. Y'all could have chosen not to have them. Just saying. I'm just saying. If y'all ain't want them trying to follow after a 20-year-old, y'all shouldn't have had the age gap.
Well...
Just saying. But, yeah, it's like one bad thing happens for every 1,000 good things that the eldest kid does, and it's like, it's still all your fault. You messed up. You're the reason why this happened. And it's like, how? It's like, if I'm the production of you, and this is the production of you, how is them doing the opposite of what you wanted my fault? How? I don't understand. And it's a cycle that it's all around the world. It's so weird how that happens within human nature, just for the eldest siblings to be trashed on when the youngest fucks up. And it's like, you can clearly see it just from discipline, or the lack of, no accountability on either parts, or at least the parent not teaching accountability, putting responsibility, but also putting responsibility on the eldest, but also saying they have all the control but no control all at once. And that's such a confusing concept to be like, that's like you're at a red light and it says green, and then you go, but then you get pulled over and the officer's like, you weren't supposed to go. And you're like, but the light was green, and they're like, yeah, but I didn't want you to go. And it's like, what? Huh? I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't even want to do this no more. I don't want to drive no more because you just confusing me. I'm scared now. And that's literally what it becomes with eldest children, trying to discipline or set good examples for their siblings. And it's like, first of all, how am I supposed to know what is right and wrong when you're just throwing me into this? You're just saying, I threw you in, I raised you, now I'm done raising you, here's the rest, I'm raising them now, so you better do good or you're just trash. And it's like, that's such a sad way to like, I kind of feel like it's, you know, when like birds let their babies go, it's like, I feel like it's that, but it's also like, I still have control over you because I can still trash on you when you mess up. I can still just make you feel like you're a failure, even though you haven't even gone into the world yet. You haven't even gotten to the point of your peak in life yet, but I'm still gonna trash on you. I feel like that's such a distorted way that families, especially ethnic families, I don't know so much about white families. I never heard of this problem too much from my white friends. And if I did, it was from girls. I just know that, man, I'm gonna get into that sexist everything. But, you know, I grew up with a lot of ethnic kids in New York, specifically Dominican, Puerto Rican, you know, Haitian, Somali, Kenyan kids, Ethiopian, all that stuff. If you're from New York, you know who lives there. And it was just so weird to see the trend. Just casually, we'd be talking about it like it was normal, but it's not normal. It's not normal. It's not okay. It's abnormal because you're not. That's not what the standard should be. And it's like we have a whole generation, and I see it through my younger siblings. It's like, I don't know what the world is gonna look like with y'all as adults, like at all. My generation is already barely making it. I don't know what y'all are gonna do. Mind you, I have 7 on the way. 7 rounds. 7 more 18s to go, 7 more 25s to go, 7 more 40-year-olds to go. I don't know what they're gonna do. My parents, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what the world's gonna come to. I don't know if it's gonna be up burning in flames. I'm gonna pray for y'all. I'm gonna pray for the people, the elders who gotta deal with them. I'm gonna pray for parents, step-parents. I'm gonna pray for the grandparents because they probably gonna be having a heart attack. My grandmother now, my Liberian grandmother now, has a heart attack almost every day, thinking one of us is just gonna drop dead. I don't know why she think the world gonna fall apart one day and we all just gonna disappear and die, and that's just gonna be what it is. And to be honest, I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. But I just wanted to talk about that because it's been on my mind, and I'm about to be 21, and it just hits me kind of sometimes when I see stuff, hear stuff. Like, my parents act different now. They're way softer, they're way more chill about stuff, and they act really casual. But I also know they don't like to take accountability for the stuff that I grew up with, or just I honestly don't think they know how much I understood growing up. I was a very in tune kid. I knew what was going on around me. Not everything to the T, obviously, but I was the oldest. I was always given responsibility. I was always thrown into the mix, so I always had to jump in and be on point with stuff. So I don't think they knew how much I understood and comprehend and still remember to this day. I don't think they know how much I actually knew what was going on with stuff that I grew up with. I don't think they know. So maybe that's the accountability part, or like the just saying that it happened part. They just don't think I know. I don't know. It's confusing, but that's where we are now, unfortunately. But yeah, this was for the eldest children. So if there were any younger children in the mix, I just want to say,
catch me outside. How about that?
be respectful to your elder siblings, because you never know when you might need them. You never know when something happened to you, you get sad or something, and that's probably the only person that you got. So be respectful. Be respectful, because you might come knocking at their door and they might just not open it because you was being rude and didn't want to clean them dishes when they told you to, because mom was coming home. Yeah. Anyways,